That's a pretty good diet right there. Morning, boys and girls. We're gonna try out the new selfie stick today. See if we can make it work. I don't know if it's gonna work out all right. Seems to be tilting the camera just a little bit, so y'all bear with me. It may be just a bit of a learning curve. We're gonna see. I'm liking a lot of stuff about it. I do like that. I got a button down here that I can actually hit to turn the camera on and off. I do like that. But I'm gonna let y'all ride along with me this morning. We got just a little bit of work to do. Me and Savannah did a bunch of work yesterday on the just different stuff on fences and stuff. We got a few videos out. Had to do a lot of editing on that this morning, so it's kind of a late start today. It's about 7:30 this morning. Getting going though. But I realized today that it's going to be 104 degrees today, so most likely I'm gonna try to get all of my stuff wrapped up real quick, because I bet it's probably already 95 right now, which actually feels pretty good considering we've had like 3 weeks straight of over 100 degrees here in Louisiana, so it's been really bad. Now the good side is the humidity has come down, but that's not good for grass or anything else. It's just good for my own comfort, but that's still a little bit of a problem. But anyway, y'all ride along with me. We're just going to do a little bit. We got, you know, a couple different things to do, and y'all can help me with my learning curve on this thing. Gotta get in here. All right, let's see how I can figure this out. I gotta actually start the truck with my other hand. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do this, guys, so y'all just bear with me. And I am out here today in a t-shirt and shorts. I'm not even wearing cargo shorts. I'm just wearing basically my gym shorts, because they're the coolest thing that I can find right now. And I don't mean I feel cool. I mean it's actually not hot, because we are doing all we can do right now just to be cool. Yesterday was a tough. Let me turn down the air, guys. Let me just turn down the air so y'all can actually hear me, hopefully. Yesterday, man, me and Savannah worked all day in the hot sun, and it was just hot. Look at this. Marvin, our Ram, you can see him out here. Our Ram, he loves to get right in front of the truck. He just doesn't even care. I don't even know if you can see him. See if y'all can see him out the back window there. Y'all see, look, you can barely see his head. We've actually just turned him loose here in the yard. We don't have a road near our place, but we just let him graze the yard. Now that I have a door on my shop, an actual walk-through door, I can actually let him run around, and I don't have to worry about him getting into anything. So that's nice. Kind of nice when you get upgrades. I don't have any of those videos posted yet, and I don't know if I'll have them posted when all of that happens. Sometimes my videos jump around, you know, because it doesn't make sense to post certain videos. Bring this out some. Oh, I am so sorry about the shaking, guys. He's coming to visit me. He is a little bit thin right now, but everything has gotten just a little bit poor condition. Of course, when I look at the camera, he looks worse than he does in real. But everything's a little bit poor condition right now in this heat, I've noticed. It's so darn hot. Our pigs aren't growing at all. It's so hot. I mean, basically right now you just keep stuff alive. That's about all you can do. I made a comment the other day that we're not growing any meat, I don't think. All right, guys, what I'm gonna do is, this thing's got a tripod on it, and I am not convinced yet if I like this thing, but I am liking it okay. We're gonna see how this video comes out. I mean, it is so shaky. Guys, y'all let me know if you like this form of video too. Oh, look at that, covering it all up. If y'all like this form, then y'all let me know. Now, the downside to this is I'm using the front camera on my phone, and that is never as good of a camera here. So this right now is kind of makeshift. This is where I'm putting my post right now. All of my other posts. Y'all don't laugh about my gym shorts now. Maybe I can keep Marvin from knocking it over. not the best place to store the post right here, but this is the east side of the shop, so it only gets morning sun here, and then I don't have to worry about the rest of the day. It'd be best if it just never got in the sun at all, but it really doesn't get bad, so it's an okay place to store it. And this part of the shop back here doesn't really get used for anything else, so that's kind of what we're going with. All right, let's see here. I'll leave my tripod open for just a sec. Grab some of these things out. These timeless posts right here, they're like it's like a fiberglass. No, it's not even fiberglass. It's like a polyplastic T-post. These things are excellent. Now they are high dollar, but really not that bad when you look at it compared to a T-post and you think about the convenience of it. We've got a whole pallet of it right there. Some of it's going to be for a fence project, and then there I like to keep a couple extra around. Just sometimes there's places here and there, just a few places here and there where you can need some. You don't need that many. That's going to be for a upcoming fence. But just keeping a couple of those, the shorter ones around here. I'm gonna show you if I can. This is the full length of this. It comes up to right here. I don't know exactly how tall that is, but that just keeping a few of those around, it's pretty handy, really. All right, let's get a couple more of these tools put up. Okay. Over here to the back side. I still don't have the best setup for where to keep all of my electric fence stuff. Okay, let's see here. Yo, y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about this form of video. Some people like it, some people don't. This right here, I'm gonna just show y'all real quick. This right here, this is where we keep our charger. This works pretty good. Open this up. Good Cyclops charger, 12 joule charger. That's a good charger for this little place. It's 25 acres here. That is a very good charger, very hot. I'm extremely impressed with those chargers. There's nothing better. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing better. There's nothing better that I've used. And there are better. I mean, I've seen some guys that have lots of acres that know a lot of different things. And there are other brands that are good. So I'm not trying to endorse Cyclops. I'm just saying that Cyclops is, I've been very impressed with them. They're very, very good. All right. Let's get my reels in here. These are some of my homemade reels. Work pretty good. If you don't do tons of acres, if you don't manage tons and tons of acres, those 3-to-1 geared ratio reels are nice, but they're not as necessary on every single spot. Now, I do plan to get maybe 1 or 2 of them, but a lot of my fences are actually more short runs of fence, so it's not necessary to have that, I find. Okay, I'm gonna sit y'all right here, let y'all watch my shame, me running around in my gym shorts. I'm gonna go put up a lot of this stuff. Might speed through the video a little bit. I also like these from time to time for real short runs. I'll cut these down into like a third and keep a few of these around. These are kind of handy in a lot of places. I almost prefer them over anything else when it comes to real short runs. know if I told y'all this. I think, whoop, I'm shaking around. I think I told y'all this. I've actually bought a couple different of these pigtail posts, which I do highly suggest keeping a few around. There are better brands than these, I believe. But got a couple of these at Tractor Supply and things like that. And the Tractor Supply ones I've actually been enjoying okay. They're the best that I've bought so far for a couple different reasons. They are not, well, I've seen other ones online, and I do not think that they're the best one around by any means. But I do think that they're a pretty decent post. So I haven't compared prices, but you know, if you kept a couple of those around, one of the reasons I've liked them the most actually is because of the I've liked them because of the power. Not the power, I'm sorry. The here, I'm gonna scooch off. The strength of the point, I can actually extend that out. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about this while talking to y'all. This is so difficult for me. I'm not used to doing these types of videos. I can actually get it driven in the ground even with the really, really hard ground. Now, it's not perfect. I don't love everything about it. All right. Let's see if I can get that battery out. Having to work with one hand, guys. It's so interesting. Let's see. We'll put that up. Let's see if I can figure out how to hold my camera where you can actually see it. Put that in the charger. Get it charging. I will make sure I come back to that because I don't like to leave my batteries sitting on a charger for too long. Savannah, today is delivery day for Savannah. She actually has to, she's got an entire day ahead of her. She's got to be delivering for the full day. Like, she's not going to be, not going to have any time off. She's going to leave probably around 10, but she has to get up early and get going real quick, right off the bat. And then she has to get over to Monroe. She might even do some deliveries in Shreveport. Normally I latch this door, but I'm not going to latch it right now because it's hard to do with one hand. She's got to get over to Shreveport, get this pulled in. I'm trying to learn how to do this without getting shaky. And she's got a bunch of deliveries in Ruston, Louisiana, which we're actually closer to Ruston than we are to Shreveport and Monroe, but we're still 28 minutes out. I mean, we're sorry, not 28 minutes, 20 minutes out. I say 28 minutes because I think about the far end, the far south end of Ruston sometimes, because we have to do deliveries all over, you know, so that's kind of what my brain is thinking about, is the farthest part of it. All right, pull up in here in the shop real quick, put my hammer up. End up getting tools from everywhere sometimes when we do a job like this. Now it's not normal for us to do to need all of this stuff for grazing. I don't want anyone to think that we just sit there and have all of this stuff while grazing, all these big hammers and stuff. We try to set it up to where you don't do stuff like that, but we were setting up kind of more permanent style stuff. We try to do that sometimes, set up stuff that's more permanent. Just like little screw-in deals that screw into the tree, set up certain things to make it to where all you got to do is unroll a wire. Because you can hook that wire to your four-wheeler and then get running pretty easy. This hammer, I'll show you real quick. I don't know if y'all have seen this Weldon trailer. I'm sure you've seen it in passing. This is a really good Weldon trailer. It works really good for me. But I like to keep certain hammers in certain places, depending on the job. I just like to keep certain tools where they belong, you know what I mean? I'm kind of I'm not an organized freak. I mean, y'all see how messy everything stays because you can't be too organized. What I mean is if you spend all day being organized, then you're not going to get anything done on the farm or in the shop. But you do have to have a certain level of organization. We've got our Muscovy ducks running around everywhere right now, guys. So I'm having to kind of watch them. They spend a lot of time at the pond. I've been so excited about those Muscovy ducks. They've done very well. So I've got to walk down to the tractor. I made a video last night. I'm not sure when it's going to post, but I made a video last night about tractor, about me taking the tractor down to the cattle, because cattle are on our side of the road right now, and we are actually on a well system. We had to take water, we had to use our pressure washer tank, 600 gallons of water, and we had to take that down there. We were in a bind. And I was so glad that we had that, because that little pressure washer tank comes in handy for a lot of different things. You know, extra water, just simply being able to wash your cattle trailer out, things like that. But also comes in handy because if you ever get a fire, or if you're ever having to burn a pile or something like that, but in these kind of drought times, you could end up with a fire somewhere, a bad fire. And if you have a fire on your place and you're trying to put it out, big pressure washer like that comes in handy. Not telling you that's what you need. Just one more thing on a farm to buy. Just saying that's what does come in handy for those certain things. All right, let's see. Got this in here. This is pretty handy right here. Not always handy with one hand. Just kind of got this little leather strip posted on there. Got some videos on this. You ought to go check that out. About four-wheeler layout. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, let me take you over here and show you this. I don't usually drink coffee while running around out in the heat. Try to get all my coffee drink. But this morning, like I said, it's a little bit different. But this right here is what I use for unrolling my reels. I adjust it to right there. Then I can tighten it up good. There. This is an empty reel, but put the reel right there and unroll your stuff. So if you set up those kind of more permanent style things like that, it makes it to where now you can just unroll your wire. You get on your four-wheeler, unroll your wire, hook it up in a couple different places, boom, you're done. So it's something I highly suggest doing from time to time. And I like it that this is all folds up out of the way. I can pull it off of there if I need to. It works good. Found this old handle off of an old valve. I'm gonna leave my coffee right there. I just didn't get enough coffee this morning. Just out running. I made a small cup. I was working on getting a bunch of videos we had edited up. I gotta walk down in here in the pasture right now. If you look behind me, you see the ducks. They're coming over here to see what's going on. Hey, buddies. Sometimes they'll let me touch them. We've actually got, we started with 14. We have 13 right now. One of them died in the pond. It's possible it was a snapping turtle or something like that. Not real sure. Every now and then you get something like that and you just don't know. But that is the chance you take by doing free range. And that's not something we do a lot. We do a lot of more pasture raised, like with our chicken tractors back here and stuff like that. Keep stuff safe, but yet it's still regenerative. But with the ducks, it's an experiment we're going for because we've got the pond and we want to try it. But that's the risk you take if you're wanting to do something free range like that. You really gotta, you know, you're gonna, some of them's gonna be more, it's gonna be like it is in nature. You're gonna have some that are gonna die just because that's how that is. But we hope to get the strong ones to survive. There's a lot of females in that group. So we'll see how that works out. The males are actually growing off pretty well. I caught one yesterday and fed them. We've been feeding them like once every 3 weeks. Of course, we're watching them. And we didn't do that at first when they were babies. I like to make sure I let people know that. We didn't do that while they were babies. But we just did that at first, you know. So, looks like this water trought's been overflowing. It's not good. Yeah, it's been flowing all night long. This is what happens sometimes, guys. Oh, make sure I don't get shocked there. Look at that. We had our emergency water we set up here last night, but we ended up being able to set our normal water up. I mean, get our actual, you know, the power came back on. We were able to hook back up. But it's been tipped over just a little bit. leaking water. Now we got this big mess. I hate that. Hate it when that kind of thing happens. We're gonna have to get that cleaned up here in a little bit. I may do that off video, so I'm gonna go up to the house. I don't think it's the float. I don't think it was the float. I think it was actually, I think it's just tilted over just a little bit. But the float also looks like it ain't quite set down in there. I don't like the valve. I bought this, I was testing out this little valve that I found. It wasn't very expensive. And anyway, I was testing that out. And I didn't like it. So I brought this tractor down in here. I was so happy about this. But that is a heavy, y'all can do the math on that. That's 600 gallons of water. I'm gonna have to pull up this hill here. So I don't know, I'm not gonna just do the math right offhand. I believe it's 600 times 8. Of course, it's not 600 anymore. It was 600 when I hauled it down here, but the cows did drink it down some. They had just come up out of the shade to get a drink of water for the evening when all that happened. So kind of a panic situation, because a lot of times in the summertime, the dead of summer, they just won't drink all day because they don't want to get out in the sun to go up there and get it. I left my shorts down in here. It was so hot yesterday, I took my shorts off, climbed in there and went swimming. Once I got done, it's like I was having to come out here and do all of this. I'm like, you know what? You gotta make life worth living. It's just, it ain't worth doing if you're not gonna make it worth living, you know? I mean, you're gonna be out here working all day. Don't work yourself to death. Make every step of what you do work. I hear a lot of people say, you know, oh, well, do what you love. And I'm like, no, no, no. Because if you do what you love, the one thing you love, you're going to end up hating it, because that's what you do for a living. What you need to do is love what you do. And what I mean by that is everything you do, find a way to make that something you love. Find ways to make that something you enjoy. And if you're goofy like me and you get inside of there to cool it, you know, to cool yourself down, by all means, that's great. Or if you like me and you love these old tractors like this, and so you work on this tractor, keep it fixed, that's great. Now you're finding ways to enjoy, you know, bits and pieces throughout. You know, my hobby used to be leatherwork, and I thought I could make it a business. And I've talked about this before, but it was so much I stopped loving leatherwork. But now I get to enjoy leatherwork again, because I don't have to do it all the time. And now I love everything. I mean, I always have, but you know what I mean? Like, just being able to get out and just make it to where everything you do. So don't do what you love what you do. Wait, these old tractors, you got to turn the fuel back on. We're gonna have to put this in low gear, get up this hill. It's got a foot brake on it right there. You just push that down right there and then flip it up. Works pretty good. Kind of like some of these old school things. Simple. Left my bucket back there. Oh well, I just crushed it anyway, so I'll run over it. I already crushed it, so I figured no point getting off the tractor and re-braking it. Once I get up this little part of the hill, then I think I can turn it down. not usually recommend turning off a diesel engine right after you work it hard. I really didn't go that far with it. Typically I like to let it cool down if I'm working pretty hard. That may be about 500 pounds, 500 gallons there left in there. What is that, 4,000 pounds? Not exactly sure. I think it's 8 pounds per gallon. I don't remember. All right, let's see here. What's next? All right, boys and girls, I think that might be about it. That wraps my morning up. I'm gonna spend the rest of the day as little time as possible out here. Actually, I do need to go do the chickens, but I'm gonna spend as little time as possible out here in this heat. Take care of everything. Gotta go check all the water. I'm gonna have to go down there and fix that water down there. Right now I'm about to turn the valve off, get that to stop draining all day, and take care of the chickens. We are pretty well sold out on chickens. We've got a handful of chickens left here. These are what we call cull birds. So cull birds are either going to be birds that are just, sometimes they can be birds that are deformed, things like that. But in this case, they're not deformed. These birds were just too small. So we could have taken them in. If we had our own processing facility, which we may do one day, then we could afford to process them. But it costs, right now it costs us $5 a bird to get them processed. You do, excuse me, you do that along with the math of the feed that you put in them. Now all of a sudden you got, you know, decent amount of money. I think we did the math. It was like $8 a bird. With that, it ends up being, I mean, over $8 a bird, $9 a bird even, after buying them and everything. It's a pretty decent chunk of money. And then if you get a little bird, now you can't hardly afford to sell it, you know. So you just, these are culls. They're not going to be something we can afford to sell. So what do we do with them? Well, we're going to process them ourselves. Me and Savannah get out here on a good day. I have to do it early in the morning where it's cool. Get all of them processed up for our own selves, put them in the freezer, and that's worth doing. Now, it's still cheap meat for us. It's still cheap and quality, high quality meat. We pulled these up in the yard just because there's so few of them, so we don't have to worry too much about them. Got them close to the fig trees. But we process them ourselves, that way we don't have to worry about that, and we don't have to put that cost on our customers. Because if we processed all of them, big and small, well, that would mean we'd have to divide that cost across all of them in order to get our money back. Well, that's putting that cost on your customer. If you can get rid of these culls, eat them yourself, and then only process the big ones, the ones that are really worth taking in and selling, now you're not having to put that on your customer. So you can keep good quality meat still affordable for your customer while raising good quality meat for yourself. But we've got them over here next to the fig trees right now, and it's been so hot and dry, we're about to lose this one. It's not dead yet. The other two are doing well. I don't know, it's hard for me to see it, but I think you can see it. Those two fig trees are doing good. We've had to be putting a lot of water on them, but this one, it just wasn't enough. So don't know for sure why. It's not dead. There's still a lot of springiness in it. So we are watering it every day, hoping that it will come back. Sometimes you can put water on them. I actually did a video talking about that. Wasn't that extreme. That one right there is far enough gone. We should have, you know, you should be doing something by that point, which we were. I mean, we've been watering those the whole time. We've had those in the ground for about 2.5 years maybe. So we don't want to, you know, it's to the point now they're fruiting, and so when they're fruiting, you know, you do want to give them some water if you can. These are our egg birds. We should have, not here yet, we should have mowed around here. I'm just about to get down here with the little tractor, hook it up to the brush hog, just brush hog this little spot right here around them. That keeps your varmints, skunks and stuff, from getting too close to them. So I'm gonna have to do that. Normally I keep it brush hogged, but we've had such a craziness, such ridiculous stuff we've had to do with this drought. Like I said, we've got water, we've been having to move around different places, so it's been hectic. Sometimes you just do what you got to do to keep everything alive. But I'm about to have to move these. I'll have to move both of them and then get them fed real quick. Outside of that, you know, I'm going to go check the pigs, make sure that their water's good. Because one day without water, it's going to be 104 today. One day without water at 104 degrees. I mean, you're likely going to lose something. So on days like today, don't let yourself run out of food. Most of these ducks are together now. They all kind of join back up. They like to split apart for some reason. I'm not sure why. Like I said, we only feed them about once every 3 weeks. That's just to keep them from just running off, you know. But they got the pond down there, and to keep it where we can catch them, you know, if we need to. I don't know if I finished it earlier. I caught one of those big males, and it's got some good breast, considering it's not being fed hardly anything. It's just eating grass seed heads, things like that. And then of course, lots of bugs. They're good hunters. In the summertime, there's lots of bugs to be eaten. They eat those moths, the moths that will lay the eggs and turn into armyworms. They'll eat those. They'll also eat the grasshoppers. And then they'll eat the seed heads off your grass. All three of those things are super good for cattle. And because it keeps your grass good, keeps it regrowing, keeps the life on it, but it also keeps a lot of the bug pressure off. So that's something to remember. I think it's pretty great having those Muscovy ducks around. Those are great. Really starting to be excited about that. We're gonna keep y'all updated on all that. But guys, I think that's about it. Wanted to let y'all spend the morning with me. Had to get a couple things done here and there. Try out this new tripod selfie stick thing. Tell you what, 5 years ago, if you'd have told me, you'd asked me whether I would have a selfie stick, there's no way I would have ever told you I would have had a selfie stick. But works pretty good for this. So y'all let me know if you like this kind of format. Definitely please like, subscribe, keep following along, guys. We've got a TikTok, we've got Instagram, we've got Facebook. We got stuff for our business as well. It's Scarborough Farms of Louisiana. Go check all that out. We're trying to link all that back together good. So just check all that stuff out, guys. We really appreciate all the support. Like and subscribe. Maybe?